So we'll call this meeting of our Board of Trustees to order at 7:02. Can I have a roll call?
Katie,
Here?
Lisa, absent. Vicki,
Here.
Chantel,
Here.
Bethany,
Here.
Jessica,
Here.
Jennifer,
Here.
all present. Well,
For this. And we're joined tonight by Kim Scott from Public Services and Peter, our trustee friend. So, do we have any public comment not present in this room?
Not received.
Okay,
Email.
great. Thank you. Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
A motion to approve the consent agenda.
A second. Any discussion? All right, roll call.
Katie,
Aye.
Vicki,
Aye.
Chantel,
Aye.
Bethany,
Aye.
Jessica,
Aye.
Jennifer.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Alright. So our first and only item of current business is a brief book drop update. I said we'd kind of get into this month at this meeting, and I just wanted to let everyone know I've been talking with Jen, and Jen's been working with Peter, and they're investigating various options for the potential addition of an exterior book return, an additional exterior book return. So this includes a variety of things under consideration, everything from like freestanding bins along the sides of the building to, we saw in our facilities improvement plan the possibility of a glass hole in the front of the building, in the front entryway. And there's even the possibility of like a secondary off-site location. We want to make sure we're looking at all of the different options so that we can kind of look at everything for consideration and evaluate things on their benefits and drawbacks, take into account operational considerations, take into account public feedback and that type of thing. So we are hoping to be able to present more information at next month's meeting in October.
Thank you. Thanks for looking into that.
Yeah, for sure.
Appreciate it.
All right. And then new business. Any questions about book dropping? Okay, sorry, before I jump ahead. Okay.
I don't understand secondary location option.
That would be an off-site, like say we were to put a book return at the train station, say we were to put a book return at the parking garage, that kind of thing.
In addition to having one near the building?
No. Well, I don't know, actually.
Yeah.
We're talking about various options, so just want to explore all of the different possibilities out there. So, does that make sense? Okay. All right. So, new business. We have Kim Scott here tonight to do the Public Services Department presentation.
Scooch myself.
I was in this area, the wheel stuff.
Can you put me in present?
Yeah.
Well, hi everyone. My name is Kim Scott. I'm the Public Services Manager. I know some of you I may still are new to me, so welcome to the Grange Public Library. My intention tonight is to give you a little update on what we've been working on over the past year. And this is for your information, but also for you to communicate to our community members. So what we've been working on, and then moving forward, what we plan to work on over the next coming year. Again, for your information and for you to communicate to our community members. So, I guess I can zip zap that over.
I said you put that there too.
I will, thank you. So I just want to draw attention real quickly. This was a day at the end of summer when it was far too hot to do a story time outside, and we had booked a program in the lower level here. And so we did an impromptu summer story time in our pop-up programming area, and it was a huge, huge success and a delight to see all those kids in that area. So a little bit about the staff. This is not all of us, but this is some of us. I'm the manager. I've been here at the library since 2020. Our assistant manager is Sarah. I believe most of you have met her. We have librarians. Simon. Simon manages the programming. Patty for adults. Patty manages the programming for children. Kendra is a newly promoted outreach librarian. Nicole is our teen librarian. Maria is our public services adult librarian. And Becky is our public services children's librarian. We have 3 current associates, Cassie, Isabel, and Kate. And we are currently hiring 2 more part-time associates that will be about 12 to 15 hours each. So I know you have your board, your director's report, your monthly director's report, but just so you're aware, the Public Services Department is the primary public-facing department. So in a lot of libraries, you have a separate children's department or a children's and teen department and a separate adult department. At LaGrange, as you know, we have 1 department. So we are doing all of the public service desk coverage, so the adult and teen desk on the 2nd floor and the children's desk on the 1st floor. We provide reference and reader's advisory there. We also do all of our programming. Children's does a lot of their own organic programming, which means they make it all up. We have really talented staff. As you know, Kendra won the Youth Services Achievement Award, which we are super proud of her about. And she just got promoted, so, everything's coming up Kendra this month. Anyway, but, our staff is super talented. In addition to the programs and staffing the desk, we also manage all of the collections. So that includes all of our materials, books, DVDs, our library of things in our children's area, our games. We make recommendations to Chuck on e-resources so that we know that we have an aligned collection between our print materials and our e-resources. So a lot of what you see that goes on in the library is a result of the public services work on all of those fronts. So, we did have a lot of successes over the year. We really deepened a lot of our partnerships. A couple of really exciting things we started was this Read Around the Grange program, which we've now this week was our 2nd week. And we were at, I believe, the Park District. Last week we were at Stone Avenue train station, which I assure you was adorable. But we're getting out and people are seeing us and they know our faces and they come to expect us. In fact, this past summer, I'm sorry to say, we had a lot of disappointed families when we weren't at the farmers market. So we're very excited to return next summer in some capacity. And we're very excited to be there now in the capacity that we are. So we are a really treasured part of the community, and our staff work really hard to make every program and every interaction they have with our community helpful, memorable, and supportive of their needs. We've had a lot of staff growth. We've done a lot of internal training. We've been teaching each other a lot too. We've done enormous amounts of readers advisory training. We're now marketing our readers advisory training outside of the library. And also some of our teen book challenges, our interlibrary Battle of the Books challenges that we do with the Grange Park Library, Brookfield Library, and Thomas Ford Memorial Library in Western Springs. We're looking to kind of take that on tour and help train other libraries on how they can partner with nearby libraries to benefit their communities. So there's been a lot of growing internally, a lot of knowledge growth, and we are really hoping to apply that in our next year. So yes, this just tells you a little bit about some of our other growth activities. We did some professional storytime training for some of our newer librarians and newer youth services staff members because we didn't get a lot of opportunities to do storytime training during COVID. And now over the past year, we have a whole new influx of people coming into the library world. And there's been real success in doing training for our staff. And we're also just getting back out into seeing what other libraries are doing. We've spent some time walking around other libraries, seeing what people are doing, seeing what their spaces look like. Because as you know, one of the things that we have, one of our goals for the upcoming year is to try and work with the needs that we have to improve our spaces. So we have a budget. We are exploring options to use that budget. So some of that includes moving our teen collection. The books out of the teen space will be happening within the next couple of months. We'll be moving that furniture out and then looking at buying some new furniture and some new gaming equipment. Looking at some grant opportunities, Friends of the Library money as well. But we are looking to work with the money that we have to make the changes, because I assure you, as a person who works up there every day, they are desperately needed. The furniture's... I would invite you to go sit in a chair at some point. It's not, it's time, is my point. So we are working within the budget that we have, as I said, and we are looking at exploring reimagining our spaces, including that quiet reading room in the corner that is, you all experienced it, is quite lovely. We are moving some of our collections around. We want to feature our biography collection, so we're going to be pulling that out to specialize it. We're going to specialize our cookbook collection and our travel collection, because those are our most browsable collections. People love going in and just kind of seeing what's available. So making that aesthetically pleasing, making it easy to browse, all of that is part of reimagining that space. And then I think that's pretty much, those are our main goals for the upcoming year. We are so proud of the work that we've made over the past few years. We are really engaging our community. I'm proud of the way that our staff has grown, the way that we've been able to internally promote and see the growth and the effective people in our staff. And so I just thank you, and I urge you to please take the message out to the community about what we're doing and how we're serving them, and encourage them to come see our space, and please come see our space as well. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer it.
I'm actually just curious. The collection that inspires, I think is the title. Is that the most checked out? Are those the most checked out items, or just like the most browsed items?
The lucky day.
Just what you had on the slide, and then the travel, the
Oh, yes. So those are the areas that people request the most.
Oh.
So people love browsing biographies, memoirs, that kind of thing. And our research as librarians, we find that those are the most well-used parts of the collection. So we really try to feature them. If you go to other libraries, they've tried to make it more of what they call a boutique collection. Mm-hmm. So it looks more browsable, looks more like a bookstore. So you're like, oh, all the cookbooks, instead of looking for a particular number. The numbers are still on there, but it just makes it easier to kind of eyeball it nicely on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anybody else? All right. Well, thanks for getting me.
I want to say the Spanish program is very successful so far. I joined this Monday afternoon Spanish class. I mean, it's packed.
Yes.
People
Yes,
want more. Like they're asking, "Can we conjugate verbs, please?" Like there really is.
I'm so thrilled that you're attending.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to keep up with my son.
Yeah.
That's not possible.
I was talking to the woman who came in and spoke to the class briefly, and she's doing Spanish. They do the Spanish story time for children here as well. They also offer ASL programs, ASL story time. So we're going to be meeting and talking with them about how we can build out some of that programming budget for some of those story times and adult continuing education, whether it's Spanish 1 or maybe Spanish 2 or 3. Who knows? The sky's the limit. The budget
Is it an intro class, or is it like a
it's
conversation? Okay.
Yeah, but she speaks in her fluent Spanish the whole time, and it's really good.
That's
Really, she's a really good teacher.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Monday afternoons. It's full now, but it's. I think that we'll be offering it again based on the rate at which it filled up, which was immediately, and then the requests that I've gotten since even the first class. So it's very exciting.
Yeah,
Really. And this again kind of drives the mission that we're talking about with our strategic plan that Jen will be talking about in a minute. How about that for a handout?
I just want to say I love seeing the pictures of the story time at Stone Avenue on the social media. Like it was very cute, and it was just a creative way to get out in the community. So.
Thank you.
Love that.
You know what? I will hats off to Kendra for that idea.
Yeah,
She, came up with it, and it was a real delight to have it there. And it's such a cute little space, so it worked well.
Awesome.
It took a lot of legwork for you all to get those spaces secured.
That is correct.
It's not an easy
It is
thing.
not an easy process to get all of that insurance, the certificates of insurance,
Oh,
making
boy.
sure that the village and the library are in all of the right places. So, part of it.
Well, thank you for your work.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. It is my joy. Thank you.
Awesome.
So, let's go back to our agenda here.
You're going to talk to us about strategic planning.
Yes, I wasn't sure if there was anything you wanted to say.
You.
No, you do it. All right. So, for those of you that have been around since the beginning of the strategic plan, this is probably not a surprise to you, but I thought it would be a good idea for us to talk about the strategic plan, how it started, where we are, etc. So, the strategic plan, when I was hired and I started in January of 2023, had already been in progress. And in libraries, generally your strategic plans are shorter. They're only 3 years. I think the max is 5. And the reason for that is because of the shifting nature of libraries. So it allows a little more agility than, say, a 10-year plan or a 15-year plan, which is agility both hopefully in new services, but also in budget constraints and things like that. So when I started, it was work done from fiscal year 22 into 23, which goes into April of 23. And then the implementation was 23 of 24. And then this is technically 25, 26 is the final year of our plan. One of the things that I think was notedly different about this plan from previous plans is the committee really, and again, I wasn't on the committee, so I can only tell you what I know. The committee's whole idea was to focus more on bigger, instead of like a list with check boxes that you check off in this fashion, they really focused on what are the philosophies, the big ideas, the big concepts, and then year by year we pick activities that we go in that help to make those bigger concepts reality. So the stuff that you see here, so in the past, if you remember from a couple of months ago when I showed you our last review of strategic plan goals, you saw that there was a lot more, right? There were 3 per thing. And we shaved some of it down a little bit because, and you all read this and we'll go through them, but a lot of these topics are bigger, right? These are a lot bigger topics that we're going to try and tackle in this year. So again, and you might have noticed a little bit that this format is very similar to the director's report format, and that change was made at the same time to really reiterate both to the staff and to the board the way that we are living the values and living the plan. So if you talk to staff, like Kim, for example, she distills everything for her department, right? So she asks her staff, where do they recommend that their activities that they talk about, which activity do they feel they fall under? And then she gives that to me, and then I kind of make the final decision. But what's great for me is that I get to see this synthesis every month of what every single employee, we do this in access services as well, what they are doing and how they feel that they are living our strategic plan. So this isn't a document that goes up on a wall and nobody talks about it. This is a regularly, monthly, recurring thing for our staff. So if you've ever been part of a strategic planning process, you know it's a financial investment. So to spend an amount of money and then put it on a shelf seems kind of wasteful. But for us, because we're living it every day, it's fascinating to me that people can actually be like, oh yeah, that's Connect. Or, oh yeah, that fits under Grow. So people are associated with it, which is nice. So these are the goals that the leadership team and I have come up with. And you might say to yourself, well, how do you come up with these ideas? And the first thing that I wanted to make sure I pointed out is that there is a plan progression. So year 1, when I came in, we had to do internal work first. We had 7 positions that we had to hire. We had policies that were, some of them 5-10 years out of date. We had no committee structure, no internal support structure. So those were things that needed to be addressed very early. So before you can go out of the house, you got to clean the house first, right? You got to be functioning interior. We also, in that first year, focused very heavily on technology. We needed to upgrade servers. We needed new laptops. We just had so much stuff that we worked on there first. And then the next year, year 2 of the plan, was really focused on, so I was leadership heavy. I mean, I'm leadership heavy and everything, but my name was on a lot of the things as the main lead. And then now for year 2, once the leadership team had had time to understand me as a new director, but also we now had this new group of staff. How do we bring these people together? That's what we did in year 2. So we focused on more leadership involvement, more development of our community voice. Outreach was a big focus for us last year, building those partnerships. One of the things sticks out right in the front of our mind is we were doing an immense amount of story times at other libraries, but we had to step back and really think about how many of those story times could be handled maybe by one of our neighboring libraries. We were doing, I can't remember all the numbers because this is from 23, so, but we were doing, let's say 60 story times a season, and maybe we had to cut that down to 50, but that cut down to 50 served 99% of Grange students, residents, daycares, etc. So we thought a lot about where and how we were spending our staff time, our staff capital. So then what's really exciting about year 3 here is that this is an opportunity for us to involve and grow some of our full-time staff and our librarian staff. So before, they might have been like a supporting element for some of these activities that we did. If you go back and look at your plan, you can see, oh, this is who the supports were. But this year, what we did is leadership are bringing in some of those librarians to give them that career development, to be able to be in charge of something that's a big idea that we're going to talk about for 6 months, we're going to talk about for 12 months. So it's a really exciting opportunity for us to provide some of that growth for the professionals in our building. And it's another opportunity for us to be embedded and interact with the public in a different way. So it's really exciting. But as far as year 1, year 2, year 3, does anybody have any questions, or should we just get into talking about the stuff?
Let's get into it.
Okay, the stuff. So one of the first goals that we have here is strengthen the library's presence in our community to promote access. So are we ever going to stop doing that? No. It's never going to stop, right? That's how you know we're not checking it off a list and going on to the next thing. It's something we're bringing to the forefront to highlight this year. So the first thing is promoting literacy in the community through the utilization of story walk activities. So have any of you heard of a story walk before? So it is, you'll see them pop up in different ways in different communities, but it is essentially an entire picture book that lives outside. And the whole story walk principle is that you're integrating the outdoors physical activity and the opportunity for family time while reading a story. So we are doing some talks with either, hopefully, fingers crossed, because when your park district's under renovation, if we could get some permanent installments and change those throughout the year, what an attraction that could be to one of our parks, right? However, Kim and I have also come up with an idea, if that's not something that's going to work, because it's not free, right? It does cost. We've come up with some other ideas to bring it in as a big part of summer reading for next year, maybe getting blocks to sign up for their block to be a story walk, so each house could have a page of the story. So, but that's one that I think would be great, because again, it's putting us in the community a way that people can find us at their place where they want to. So, and give us a chance to share some really great stories.
Like businesses.
That could be a cool one too. You know.
As a business owner.
That's
It would be nice.
Yeah.
And it's a free activity. Like that's some of the part too, is like, oh, you want to do like a passport, and if you buy something, 50-cent candy, you can do it. But if they would be willing to do it for free, that'd be cool.
Just something else.
That's what I was imagining, like in the window. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
They put flyers there all the time.
Yeah.
We actually did that a few years ago, come to think of it.
Did you?
Yeah, Emily did, like 2021. Yeah.
In the PJ days, pre-jump. One of the other things we're looking at is explore support for local distribution of donated materials. So many of our neighbors have stopped accepting donated books. So what that means is we have a plethora of donated items. And we go through, and if you've seen our donated items, the Friends of the Library will go through them. People think every single book that they give us is worth something, and God love ya. But if it's a moldy book from 1942 or not a geographic, National Geographic, that we just can't have that. So we end up doing a lot of recycling of materials. We do work with a group called Knowledge Exchange that gives us a meager monetary return for the massive laundry bins, like if you think of those ones you see going in hotels like that, full of materials.
You're not paying for it. You're paying to dispose of it. That's the big,
right?
I think that's, I agree.
It's bananas, and they will, groups like that do exist. They will sometimes, like, they pass the materials on to incarceration or detention centers, for example, which those historically have no books available. You will also find that they will, if they can't, give it away. Some of it goes to third world countries, other libraries in need, etc. But so they'll recycle what they can't. So hopefully nobody's getting moldy National Geographic. Nobody wants it. But we were really talking about back in the day, LaGrange has a wealth of little free libraries. How as our Friends of the Library, maybe we could move those materials to the community by stocking little free libraries and, getting those things a little bit more out back into the community. Because we'll keep quality stuff, don't get me wrong, we'll sell quality stuff in the, book sale. Do we need 5 cases of books all the time? And I'm not talking about a case, I'm talking about a bookcase. No, we really don't. So we have some staff that said, hey, this would be a great opportunity to mobilize maybe some team volunteer hours, but also some Friends of the Library hours. So there's some staff that'll be managing that, which would be really fun. These are 2 ways we'd like to promote the value of the library to all residents, constituents, schools, and businesses to expand access to library resources across our community. The first one, and this is something we've already been doing, but we're taking it to the next level, leading the charge to strengthen our relationships with LaGrange newcomers through robust partner groups who are serving the community. So when we talk about newcomers, we're talking about 100% new residents, but we're also talking about people who are new immigrants, refugees. We're already working very closely with our our district liaisons from District 102, and we are embedding our relationships more with the Lyons Township group as well. So how can we get them to understand what library services are? Library services in the United States are very different than library services globally. So for us to be able to gain that trust, especially in a time when trust is a high commodity, we have staff that are very dedicated to that, as am I. We are currently working on this as well, creating a teen summer internship program that caters to local students to promote the values of community involvement and librarianship. So this is one we've been tossing around the idea with some of the people from LT, and they have a bunch of students who want to better understand how to be not politically active, but community and civically active. And librarianship is a great way to do that, and not everybody knows that. So this is an opportunity for us to potentially have some spots available, plus give students the opportunity to do some resume building, going through an application process, etc. So Kim and I have a close working idea with our teen librarian to get that started as well. So, and if it starts and it works really well this year, who knows, maybe we can do more in the future years as well. Questions about those 2?
Is that a paid internship for teens?
Yes. So we are hoping, this year we received a donation from last year's, we unfortunately this year Milk Money had a change in their brewer, so we did not get to do our novel idea brew, but we would like to use that money to be able to fund something like this, and they were very interested in us doing that. So it probably won't be but we'd like to maybe have 2 people do it. So we do have some donation space for Rotary. We also have some money that's come into the Friends of the Library area. So if we can use that for the teens, that would also be a really good idea. But paid internship for sure. Probably stipend. Okay, so. Yeah, I think we're good. Right. Evaluate points of service and the patient experience for opportunities and successes. This is another one, again, that will never stop. We'll never stop thinking about how to best serve the patron. So we are working with developing accessibility guidelines for web content, signage, and train participating staff to close accessibility gaps based on need. So we've done some of this already this year, right? We had some new web standards, web graphic standards that we had to work on. Chuck talked about that when he came to speak with you about web accessibility guidelines. However, our social worker completed an ADA coordinator certification this year. So for her, she has done 40 plus hours of training, attended classes, and also passed a certification exam to really start thinking about, so we know the what, but guidelines here means the how. How and the why are we doing the things that we're doing? So to put some intentionality behind them. But also some things that staff can follow that are simple. Are all of our signs visible? Are we using the right colors, for example, for people who are colorblind? Are our fonts readable? Just that kind of stuff. So things look a little plainer, but plainer means more accessible in that realm. So we don't have anything written, so we're going to take that time and put that community to work. Explore simple opportunities to gather patron feedback at the transaction point that will help inform future strategic planning activities. So one thing you might not know is that we have some staff that work here who are former statisticians and mathematicians, and they love looking at that deep dive of data. So we're going to work on figuring out ways to collect that data right at the point of service. So whether it is something as simple as, if you've ever gone to the Amazon store, they have an iPad with a happy face, a mad face, or a sad face. How was your experience today? It could be something as simple as that. Maybe a tactile experience. I think that's always nice. One of my favorite tactile experiences we did was at the Milwaukee Maker Faire a couple of years ago. They had this giant, obviously this wouldn't work for us, but these giant tubes, and you took a puff ball and you put in I traveled this many miles, that many miles, and it was just a visual way to see, how many miles people came to go to this Maker Faire. So some things like that. I don't think we'll be having giant tubes, but puff balls may be involved. Embed accessibility, flexibility, sustainability, and technology into library spaces to foster community connections. So one of the things that's been floating around for quite some time is identifying opportunities to update the library's outdoor spaces to contribute to the health and wellness of the community, including some facility green practices. So some of that stuff we're already doing, right? We're switching to LED lighting and that kind of stuff. But there are a few different organizations in our area where they will go through your building and help make recommendations that are either simple or things that you can add in as we're looking at our spaces. So our staff is very interested in doing some updates outside with our they have a little picnic bench area that's in the back, and just really, again, figuring out ways to get the community to be able to really enjoy our walkable space. So that's on the agenda. And then prioritize those capital needs and small projects from the facility improvement plan, which you've all already seen, and we're already working on those. So any questions about these? None of this is really super new, but it's always nice to put something out there that says these are the things we're most excited to try this year. Deliver programs, collections, and services that maximize library access and comfort for users through representative and reflective practices. So the first one, explore and implement collections and programs that promote information literacy in multiple forms for our library community. So we all exist in the world today as sentient adults, and we know that information literacy is something that is under a constant microscope. And what are we doing as information practitioners to make sure that we are sharing resources that are both reliable but also represent a wide array of views? So there's a bunch of different things that we can do that not only are for children, right? Children, we support the local curriculum for their information literacy endeavors, but also what are we doing for adults? And a lot of time, I think that that's an area where we can feel that there's some need to think about information literacy. So the second one here is promote civic awareness that encourages our community to invest their time and build their knowledge of opportunities for engagement. So this one is, how are we talking about and how are we bringing in the wealth of resources that exist here in LaGrange? Do people understand what it's like, for example, to run for a board and volunteer your time? Do they understand the work that community assisted rides does, for example? So all of these things sort of exist, but how do we let our young people, our adults know that there are ways to contribute to your community, whether it is passive or whether it is active? And that's civic awareness. Remember, civic means of society, right? It's not about a political view. It's not about anything like that. It's how are we supporting our society as good people, as good humans. Hopefully everybody's good people, knock on wood. And this is one we're all kind of particularly passionate about. Build a community of compassion through programs that share the library's commitment to inclusion and belonging. So when we talk about community of compassion, we're talking about a wealth of ideas. So for us, it is, how do we have challenging conversations? How do we learn to facilitate those conversations, but also what kind of programs are we promoting to bring in different viewpoints, to have somebody who is willing to share? One of our neighboring libraries up in Lake County had the Lake County Treasurer, Holly Kim, come and talk about her experience as not only an Asian American person, but a woman in the workplace running for office. So, there's these different experiences that we can provide a platform for people to share and ask questions, but also learn how to have those conversations. And I think that those three ideas, you'll see that one has three, because as we're approaching midterm elections in an election year, isn't this the time that we should be telling people, this is what you can find in your library and in your community. So be involved, use your voice. Any questions about those?
Good stuff.
Excellent. Okay, good. Promote belonging and inclusion for all people at the LaGrange Public Library. Again, never going to stop doing it, but a core principle for us. Explore and implement translation practices to welcome more interaction with our community members. So actually, Kim was just talking with some of our people from, was it District 102 that you were talking about that said, with Lupe, is she from 102? Mm-hmm. So one of the questions we asked as we're going to an upcoming outreach event is, what languages are your families going to be looking for? And the two that they asked us to look into translating were into Ukrainian and into Spanish. So starting to do some things like that where we're putting into A, our practice, but also B, our website is easily translatable, but are our print materials easily translatable? How can we make sure that we're doing that above and beyond, not just in one space and in one way? And then number 2, develop philosophy of service guidelines for all employees of the library that provide clear guidelines for success. So again, if you know anything about me, I love talking about things, and then I want us to put it on paper so that we have it available, that we can always refer back to it. Because I think a lot of times we assume things and we think things. However, when you put it on paper and you say, this is who we are, it's a tangible return point for people. It's a tangible set of expectations. And I love, our goal, I think Peter's one of the people that's in charge of this one, correct me if I'm wrong, but to have people from across the library build something that we all agree on. And that goes back to some of our culture building as well. So I'm excited about that one as well. Any questions? If you have questions after I read them, just stop me, then I won't ask if you have any questions. So the next one here is, these two are staff-centric. Build internal staff structures that welcome open ideas and feedback while focusing on organizational health. So again, we're still working on that culture statement that lays out the LaGrange Public Library way, reflecting our library-wide commitment to service standards. So again, what does it mean to work here? What does it mean to be a librarian? What does it mean to be of service to the LaGrange community? Put it on paper, think about it. Number 2, conduct a workplace climate / staff satisfaction survey and use data to set goals. Some of those may come out in the culture statement, but also it helps us to kind of think about, okay, as we look at the next 3 to 5 years, even for staff growth, what pathways are staff looking for? How are we accommodating them as far as their day-to-day work? So a lot of times people call that a staff satisfaction survey, but the research that I've been working on and that Arcadia has been working on with me is really thinking about the climate of your workplace. Because if anybody is so satisfied with their work that they come and they do it for funsies, good on ya. But most of us are there for the work, right? There for the workplace. If you get to have funsy time, I'm glad for you. And of course, I'd like to share that data and those results with you when we get to that point.
Is that a survey that you'll be using a service to conduct?
We've been talking about that, and that's the part where people, and maybe you've had this at your workplaces too, people are so concerned with the anonymity. And I want to have something where, sure, we have internal tools, we have Microsoft Forms and SurveyMonkey, but people, even if it's anonymous, will still be like, no. So we've explored it. Some of those are pretty costly. So that's a part where we're like, maybe that's something we could either build into the budget for next year. Do we do something like this, but then make it recurring? So that's part that we have to think somewhat more about.
I feel like sometimes your payroll has some type of a survey, right? Like, do you have Paylocity?
Yeah, we use
So
Paylocity.
I have Paylocity, and they have like they do have like a employee engagement survey. I don't know about anonymity, but I'm sure you can make it anonymous.
Yeah, it can be.
Do they let you build in your own questions, or is it like?
I'm sure they could. Their help people are really nice.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's a good thing to look into. Because then it would be adding a module versus getting a new service.
Right.
And implementation.
Right. And even if I don't think mine is built in, so it's like no added thing. You're already paying for them as a payroll operator, but I'm sure they would work with you if you wanted specific.
We added when we first started in their recruiting module to be able to take like applications and stuff because previously we were just like getting emails.
Right.
Kim, we got 38 applications for two 15-hour positions. So could you imagine all of those emails going back and forth?
Yeah.
But having the HRIS really makes it easier to do. So I didn't think about that. So
That
that's a
might be
great
an easier
suggestion.
option. Yeah.
All right, and then the last goal, or the last set of goals here is strengthen internal and external customer service through consistent training and support. So you may be surprised, but the library does not have core competencies for each position in the library, so we'd like to develop those and regularly evaluate and update skills, procedures, and workflows to maximize staff knowledge and success. So we've started talking about this at the leadership team level, like what would this look like? Because remember, we have people that are I'm master's degree plus 15 years. And then we have people who are Shelver's 16-year-old high school students possibly. So how do you find a measure of success that has everybody in that, and space for everybody? And then continue to develop best practices for digital and physical storage that complies with records retention and organizational structures. We have a lot of digital clutter. I did not make that up. That is from the Office Ladies podcast. They talk about digital clutter all the time. And it's great that we have a lot of stuff. But at the same time, there are certain things as a publicly funded organization that you have to, before you can destroy things, there has to be application to get rid of. You have to apply by how many cubic feet of information you would like destroyed, for example. And then there are certain things that the law requires we keep in physical form in perpetuity. So going through and you have to organize that, but you also have to apply for that, be accepted, go back and forth a few times. So we're working both on our digital organization to ease workflows, spend less time searching, but also really look into that records retention area. I think most of you were able to see in the back when you did your tour with Peter the many file cabinets of stuff. That's records retention stuff. Do we need to keep it anymore? Do we need pay stubs from 2001? Probably not, but they're back there. So working on that stuff and figuring it out, and they play very much together, which people might not know. I think you still have to apply in like triplicate for your records. I'm not even kidding it. You have to apply in triplicate with your records retention requests. So, but yeah, that's it.
So this is the strategic plan for this year, and then will this kind of trickle down into goals for the team? Like, were there objectives and goals for the year?
Yes.
directly relate to this.
Yes, so now that we have this in place, managers have been working with, and I've been working with my managers that report to me. We do SMART goals at the annual appraisal, and our annual appraisals are done on hire date instead of seasonally, so it's rolling all the time. Something I would like to change.
Yeah. It's hard to manage your strategic goals then if it's a
That's why it's hard to have like a list where like by 2026 we're going to do this, this, and this.
yeah.
Because when you do it in that process, like think of Rebecca and Kim, because they have those combined departments that were given to them, and I think they did it in 2019. Did they come out? So 2020, they both have 16 employees.
Yeah.
So it is
Can't keep
always
track of it.
somebody's appraisal date.
Do you need help changing that? Like,
Probably.
is that like something that we have to look at? How do you change that?
So the one thing that will be really impactful for the board when it comes to that will be the way that we distribute annual appraisals is we distribute merit pay is with annual appraisals. So there may be a time where we may have to say this year to kind of even it out, like sometimes
retrofit it, like
Yes.
you're gonna get
Prorate it.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of how we do it now. So like, for example, Joanne's appraisal is in April. April is the end of our fiscal year, even though it's the current 2025.
Yeah.
So her appraisal was for last year's rate, even though because she hasn't received last year's rate. It's kind of cuckoo bananas.
Yeah.
I hate it. But
It is bad, and then as an employee satisfaction, like, you know that we're all like it's all fair, but I would be like, oh, I want to be at the beginning of the year. I want to.
it's a ton of work, and I think the reason that they got away from it was when they did this comment, because previous to combining those two departments, they had all those 16 employees were now under one manager, so there used to be two. So for that one person, it's easier maybe to only have to do one at a time instead of having to do a season of 16. Now,
Yeah, but
if it
then
was
you're
me-
constantly reviewing people.
Yes. Now, see, that's what I said. I would much rather review everybody and be like, okay, I'm going to bump it
But then
out.
you're all aligned with the goals.
Right, because everyone's been updated,
Yeah,
you've had
yeah.
to sit down.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, you
Exactly.
consolidate your madness. I
Right.
think there's also more consistency that way when you're evaluating everyone
Yeah.
at the same
Yeah,
time.
that's a really
Yeah.
good thing.
It's
Yeah.
a little easier.
Because certain things could have happened in between that might be changing.
Right.
Yeah.
So it depends too. I think it does make it very difficult from a hiring standpoint. I mean, Peter started in December, and Rebecca, Peter's the last one I do, and then Rebecca is February. So what we're doing in February of 2025 may be different than what we're doing in December of 2025, but I have to hold everybody to the same standard.
Yeah,
And
that's really tough.
when it comes to SMART goals, I like to give people in my department one SMART goal that everybody has to do the same, and I let them choose their other three. So when we do that, it's also kind of tricky because Rebecca did hers, or Peter did his now, but
It has to
then
be big
the
enough
new
to-
one, yeah. So it kind of is always happening. So again, it's not my favorite, but we just had so much when I started. We had so much to align and get
Yeah,
together
sure.
that I was like, future dread problem.
Yeah.
But I'm right there. But yeah,
Well,
when
and
it
then
comes to
also
that,
like just the last thing on that with like merit and the financial implications of that, knowing all at once what the bucket is, and then to play with in that bucket one time instead of piecemealing it. Yeah, it's.
yeah.
And you answered my other question because these are a lot of goals, but I'm glad to hear that they have like 3 or 4 that trickle
Yes.
down that cover
Yes.
all of them.
And it's based on, so for the staff here, it's based on if you work 1 to 10 hours, you have 1 goal. If it's 10 to X, you have 2. Managers all have 4, but we try to base it on how many hours you work. So even our shelters have goals.
Yeah.
So there's nobody's left behind, nobody's left out of the
That's great.
opportunity for development, which is helpful. I'm pretty proud of our evaluation. That was another thing people said, please redo this when you get there. So I think it's a good one. All of these are really exciting. So
And then just briefly, I know that you've talked about when this strategic plan is complete, what is our next step? What is-
there's a couple of different things that you can do. So when they wrote this plan, they worked with a consultant. The consultants reached out to me already and said, hey, I know you're approaching the end. You know, there's a couple of ways that they recommend that you could go about it. And again, they're a respected, I've worked with her at 2 other libraries, like very respected. You can either do like a reappraisal of your plan. And the way that they do it is they do community surveys, board, they call it like a board retreat, but it's a board focus group. And then they'll do a few focus groups for the community. And then they compile the results and the data and they say, okay, now let's take this and let's write a new plan. When they did this one, they did a full overhaul. So they rewrote the vision, they rewrote the mission, they did all of that kind of stuff. Are we happy with our mission and vision? Probably now. I don't know the last time it was updated before they did this one. But so we could either do that. We could also say, wow, we really need another year or 2 to work through this stuff. So we could also stretch it out a little bit as well. That would be something as we're going through the budgeting process, we can think about that too. I mean, the numbers that I've seen on that are anywhere from 10,000 to 30,000. So there are a lot of libraries that use their per capita money specifically for this kind of stuff. There are a lot of libraries that don't even do a strategic plan, which is boo-boo bananas, and I don't know how they do that. So it's a lot more work. But yeah, so I think what I would like to see come out of it, no matter what we do, is, hey, how are we doing? You know, community survey, some of those focus groups, etc. You can, with these groups too, you can hire consultants just to do that, and then they give us the data and we figure it out, or they give the data and they do the analysis and then we write the plan. So I mean, there's ways that we can kind of
still get that information, but not.
Yeah, because it's a labor-intensive process, and also I have to say there's a little bit of beauty to somebody who's a third party conducting that, and you know, because no matter if I've learned anything, that power dynamic and the structure, I can be like, but I'm Jen, and I wore a shirt with a stain on it to physical therapy this morning. Like, I'm a regular person, but you're the director. Like, so there's a wall that just doesn't get breached.
It's good to know there are a lot of options.
Yeah. So that'll be something when we're looking at the budget for, you know, in January, February, when we start having those meetings, we can kind of think about what we want to do. But I'm hoping at least for community survey and focus groups.
Awesome. Any other questions about this one? Good. All right. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Excellent. So I'm up next. And can I, are you driving or are you?
What do you prefer? I opened the things and said, I would like to do these things.
All of these on the screen.
That's a lot of desktop there.
Yes, I go through periodically and I clean it up.
That's what I was saying.
no, mine's even worse.
I used to say mine's similar.
Oh my god, guys.
It's like there are 2 kinds of people in the world. There are.
At least they're all lined up.
I mean, I try to organize my junk into corners.
This one, okay. I don't need to go to Rails, I'm just going to. I don't want to lose my other window because we did a training today about working with caregivers that had so many good links.
Do you mind if I?
Absolutely.
I don't mean to be so formal, but I think it'll be easier if I just stand up like so. So I wanted to just take a moment to review just a couple resources I think you guys will find helpful. I know when I started on the board, there was really no one place to go for training. And somewhere along the way, they developed this really nifty site called iLead. Has anyone seen this yet? You might have been introduced to it. I was introduced to it, and then it took me a while to actually get into it. So, but I just wanted to quickly spin through and call out a few specific things and a couple things that I want us to prioritize in the next couple of months. So this is the iLead Learning Portal. You log in with your L2 login. If anyone hasn't created that, it's super straightforward to set that up. And then you would go to this site. We'll jump in there in a second, but I just want to note, this is a great little resource page here with some good stuff on the big topics. And then there's a calendar of different upcoming trustee-specific trainings. So there's a little iLead training session one Saturday a month, it seems like, on a regular basis. And then there's like a noon session, these little things too. So just somewhere to go. But the main thing is this login here. And so, if you would log in with your L2.
It's going.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I'm see, it's like stop. So the dashboard. Jump in. So this is like, an online learning platform that they use for this thing. This was developed, we're part of Rails. Mm-hmm. The counterpart for the southern part of the state is Illinois Heartland system, and they got a grant through the Illinois State Library to develop this whole training. So they put this together. It's not perfect, but it is what we've got, and you can jump in this way. It's got all the details, but I usually just bump over here to the modules. So this is, you've got your welcome, all kinds of good stuff. But it really is like all the things you need to know are here. Your ALA resources, oath of office, the OMA training, which we'll talk about in just a moment. And then all these great things. And there are little videos, and little quizzes and activities. But, I was looking at this earlier. It's like a little 10-minute video. I think you go here.
Hello. This video provides guidance to ensure your board meetings
And I really love this guy's voice.
Yeah.
But, again, like any topic you might have a question on, there is very likely a module about it. And it keeps track of your progress, and you have these like trustee learning journeys that you can get badges and things for. But, I jumped into OMA for a reason. So the Open Meetings Act training is something that we're all asked to do. We're trying to figure out if it's within a year or within 90 days. There are no library police that are going to come and get us. So I'm just asking us within the next couple of months. So November will be our last meeting of this year. We don't meet in December. So I'm hopeful that we can all take a minute to go through the OMA training through the state, which I think Jen pulled up right here.
Or to the PAC training.
Yeah,
one.
thank you. I don't have glasses. So this one you already have your login information in. It's a little bit of a journey to set that up. I'm just going to show you. So there was a long downtime for this, wasn't there?
Years. It was cyber attacked, which is kind of fun.
Yes.
Oh, jeez.
So when I started as a trustee, it didn't exist because it was under cyber attack. So it's been within the last 3 to 5 years that it's come up.
Yeah. So a lot of us, like I was able to do it, I think, initially, and then I wanted to do a refresher, and it just wasn't an option. But when you register, when you're ready to do it, you register here. You fill out all this info. There's actually a little guide to how to fill it out because it's just not intuitive. You're putting in your email, you create a password. It doesn't like apostrophes in your security question, so I was like, dog's first name, and it didn't like the apostrophe. But once you get set up, you get to just jump right in, like Jen has it here. Oh no.
You gotta verify. Here, let me see.
Will it tell you? It's just not the friendliest thing. Like this was not made by.
Well, I'm sure after they got hacked, they're gonna be like,
Yeah.
verify. They're like, oh, show you.
130
You're gonna have to
771.
verify. Look into my camera.
Do not challenge me on this device. I love that. I've never seen that.
Oh.
130771 is what it says.
Oh wait, did it change its mind?
Yes.
Oh, this is different though.
Go back to the dashboard, maybe.
There's one in the Illinois
For
state
my apps.
that's not specific to libraries, but it's much more navigated.
Oh, maybe here.
You're like, I just did the training.
I'm telling you, this is like the finest.
We
work
literally
I've
just
seen.
looked at it
Yeah.
an hour
I mean, it
ago.
looks like you're logged in because it's got your email at the top right there in the bottom.
Right?
This
So sign in. It should just take us there.
It's loading.
Not touching.
Oh, there you go.
There
Now
we
it
go.
works.
Okay. So yeah. So here it is. You go to this thing on the blue tab, and then you click on it. There's FOIA training and OMA training. So as our secretary, Vicky is, or as our secretary, Vicky is our OMA officer. So she's responsible for upholding, making sure that our meetings meet the standards of the Open Meetings Act. Joanne is our FOIA officer. So Joanne would respond to any Freedom of Information Act requests. So when you're ready to do this, you would go into the OMA training. So just jump into this little arrow, and then it takes you through 101 slides that you're clicking through. So it's.
I did this.
I did, yeah, I think you gave a PSA to do this.
Yeah.
Did you a couple
do it
months
already?
back?
Yeah.
Okay, did you get the certificate?
Yes.
Okay, and those are shared.
I don't think I shared it.
Yeah,
Okay, if you
I don't
got
think
it,
I wanted to.
Go ahead and share it with
No.
Jen.
Okay.
And then for us oldies, if you didn't get a chance to do it when you first started, now is the time.
It's not under iLead, that would have been under Kwame Rowe.
Yeah.
That was more of
There's a link to it
Illinois.
within, just jumping back into the iLead portal. There are links to this training in there. But,
That might be better than what was on the state site, it was not very good.
so the state site is the one though that will give you that formal certificate.
Yeah,
that
like
we
the
just wanna-
official.
That we just want to make sure that we have in file.
Is that every year?
If the library police come. No, it's meant to be once during your term. So just setting that as a goal
Okay.
for November if you've not had a chance to do that. And then if you want to just take some time to explore the beauty that is the iLead portal. So, but there are some good little training videos, and most of them are quick, like 10 minutes. I think some are even just 5, but there was a nice video on tips for a better board meeting. There is a Robert's Rules cheat sheet. Goodness. Which was really handy. So, and then policy information, just all kinds of good stuff. So I encourage you to take a second to check it out. Get your iLead and your L2 logins squared away. And if you have any questions, Jen can help you, I can help you. Just let us know.
I will tell you too, you should already have an iLead an L2 login, but if you don't, they're doing a contest this month for a $100 gift card for people to sign up because it's library card sign up month. So if you haven't signed up yet, you can,
Yes.
but I'm pretty sure I signed you all up already, so sorry about that.
Oh, yes, thanks, Jen. So yeah, you can see that there's actually a great little thing, announcement on the sidebar. I'll tell you all about that too. And there is a Robert's Rules training session coming up, I think the Saturday after next. It's a Saturday morning thing. Yeah.
He says signed up for it.
Yeah. So, all right, cool. Thanks, guys. Thank you. Thanks, Jen, for letting me borrow your.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's no flair, no interest in
like
keep making it like it.
It's like just the facts.
Yeah. It makes me appreciate all the corporate stuff they make you do, where they're watching like situational videos, you know.
Oh my god. Hey, Jan.
Yeah.
You're like, I'd rather have somebody talk to me about
Something
it.
to look at least.
Yeah.
All right. Committee reports. Chantal, do you have anything from us for finance?
Do we need to work on a levy letter?
So we should probably get together in early November
Okay.
to get that to them. And then usually the treasurer and the president attend the village board meeting. I will say things are, well, I don't know, as far as I know, things are still a little up in the air.
We don't have the person.
Unless you all have heard different, but
I saw it still posted, so.
but we usually go to that first when they do their budget.
Okay.
But we've sent them the pre-levy letter, so they know we're gonna be
Right.
asking for something.
Is there a delay in taxes being funded or?
Yes, so, and there's no, due date for the second payment. So usually we get what's called, a TRR report, which is the actual, like, everything, remember, for taxing is reported in arrears, right? So you are asking for money this year, we're asking for money next year based on what we got this year. And when we do that pre-levy letter, we're using that, what we think we got. But usually it comes in August, which it has not come yet. There's the TRR report that says the exact amount that Cook County distributed to the village. And that is still in draft form, because remember when we go in and we ask for that pre-levy, we always include a little bit for new growth. So from the one that I saw, the new growth that we captured this year, I believe, is about an extra 18,000 than we originally asked for. I'm on top of the number plus 18,000. But usually by this point I have that in hand so that I can say, here it is. But we don't have that yet. So that's going to be interesting. And normally I would say, hello, village business manager. How is the village handling this? But if there is no village business manager, we might just have to do our best.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
'Cause you-
I was like, oh.
it was so easy last year working
Yeah.
with Susie. Actually, the last 2 years working with Susie. So,
Okay.
I have a lot of compassion for them because it's a lot.
So do you anticipate the next finance committee meeting being closer to that time?
I think so.
Okay. Early November, so we can just set it at the next.
Fine.
Is that good?
Okay.
That's good.
All right, thank you. Friends of the library. Yeah, we did have a meeting today, so I do have some updates for you guys. I think last month I told you about the $5,000 donation we received from the children's, earmarked the children's department. We had redeemed 33 vouchers for the Summers program and outreach this year, so I think kids got to pick a book from the Friends of the Library shelf.
Adults too.
Adults, yes, right, sorry, I didn't do mine this year. There were good adult gift baskets last summer, but anyways, I digress. Friends of the Library, it's National Friends of the Library Week in October, and so we're thinking about having a little desk out front and for a couple of hours one day that week. And then they did approve a couple of requests. A karaoke machine for the circulation, which I thought was very fun, and a very cool traveling case.
Amazing.
Cool.
Yes. And a large scale printer is the big ticket item for the office to use to print out banners and stuff. That it sounds like the last one was 10 years old and stopped working about 6 months ago. So
We used her well.
yeah. A story time event with a well-known
Esther Gomez.
yes. So
which is an adult story time. We thought it was a kids thing, and then it was like, oh no, this is like an adult author event, I guess. And then in regards to the teen room, they also approved a request for, I think it was an Xbox and something else to go. I don't know the prices of these gaming consoles, but it's about $1,000. So I'm thinking that might be too.
Yeah, usually they're
Okay. Yeah.
It's for the console plus supporting controllers and games.
Thank you. Thank you.
Games, which
The whole setup.
Yeah. So that'll help when the books come out of the teen room. So those are some of the exciting things.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there a total figure for that?
The total, let's see, you're making me do fast math really fast.
Okay.
It's about $4,000.
Okay.
Yeah, and they have some money left, a lot earmarked for the children's group too.
Yeah.
Nice. Very cool. Rails, Eileen?
So you mentioned a few things that I was going to mention with the trainings that came through the Rails newsletter as well. For the different trustee trainings, there are also lots of trainings coming through for library staff, for cataloging and different things like that. One interesting thing, I think I read that in January of 26, Pritzker has mandated that all libraries have Narcan on hand. So that's a new, I don't know if the library already has it on hand, and there's already been like trainings and stuff, so nothing new for Grange.
Yeah, we did that. Jess came and did our training for us at our last in-service because when that passed, we have a partnership with the Cook County Health Department that will give it to us for free, and then Jess's Pharmacy will help us dispose of it when it's expired. So you have to watch their YouTube video, which anybody can watch, by the way, if you want to watch it. But if you Google, Cook County Health Department or
administration.
the Loxo, yeah. But that's
Are you passing it out here?
I don't think they have it designated spots. It's just you're supposed to have access to it.
Okay.
So
So it's not on site?
it's on site.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they have it on site at three or four spots.
We have it at, we have 2 doses of it at every service point. There's a dose of it here in the left turn. So there's there's the Local Library Act and then there's a Library District Act. It currently does not apply if you're a library district, but we are a local library, so it does apply to us. But the law basically says, or they added text that says any hours that the library is open, they have to have a staff-trained naloxone antagonist on staff. There's still some questions about, do we have to provide that at outreach events? Is it considered the library if we're sponsoring a story time at the train station? But this is also something that is a wonderful idea, and I'm so glad that we have it. However, it's not funded, and naloxone doses, if you're not having a free partnership, would be costly. They expire, I think, every 2 years, and they become less effective, but again, it's an implied cost, which, again, your heart wants to do it, but can the budget hold it? So luckily, Cook County, we got it. I know Kane County and then DuPage County are also really focusing on having it available. So we're good. Yeah, we have, I think everybody, but 2 people were at staff in service, so everybody was trained.
And I had little dummy ones, so like you could get the feel of what it's like. So I passed those around. So
It was very highly rated on the survey. It took a lot of stress off of
drugs
people.
usually are.
I felt it was very de-stressing for them.
Well, that's why I think it's nice, because it's like, okay, use this, and then the first time you're actually touching it is when you need to use it. So it's nice to have like a pretend one to feel how it's going to be.
Anything else, Rails, Eileen? No, not really. Thank you. Policies, Lisa's not here, but Jen, do you have any news from Policyland?
We don't. We will have probably at our next scheduled meeting, we were talking about doing October or November. For the next round of policies, we do want to bring our library card policy back to you all once more. There was some new legislation that was signed into the Local Libraries Act about how people can pay for their non-resident card. So currently with your non-resident card, you have to pay in a lump sum. So you walk in and you say, hey, you owe $200. However, they've introduced legislation that libraries have to now either accept 2 payments or 4 payments. So 6 months or 2 months. Wait, no, 4. Wait, 6 or 4. 6 or 4. So we have to decide how we would like to implement. Would we like to have people be able to pay quarterly or twice per year? But again, that's a new thing. So we'll be looking at the whole policy again, just the little language we have to add in to be in compliance.
Thank you. And then village.
So there was 2 meetings since we last met. There was discussion more about the flooding issue in Grange with their 2 rainfalls that they had. And then there's discussion about parking situation and traffic flow just by Cossett here, because they kind of changed the way that happened with District 102 in the village, and I guess they didn't really notify parents, so there was discussions about that, and I'm sure you guys get it during the day when Methodist and Cossett are all getting dropped off, and there's a bunch of people parking, double parking, and so there's just trying to navigate what the best answer is. I think there was some unhappy parents with how they switched it up, so hopefully they'll come to some sort of resolution. I think there's still the open positions that they have there. Yeah. That was, I think they hired a new, like, village services, but not really a manager, so. But that was pretty much it.
And the bakery.
Yeah.
All right, Jen. Highlights for us.
So the big stuff that happened in August, I'm just going to talk about a couple of different things. So you remember we told you about this grant that Rails gave us. All 12 of the libraries that are along the BNSF line for a month, library card sign up month, which is September. The 14 libraries came together and we are encouraging people to register for their library card during National Library Card Sign Up Month with advertising in the train station. So there's a QR code, you click it, it goes to a landing page and then you select your library. So that's very exciting. Also this month we went live with the Swan online card application portal. So the 2 things happening at the same time is kind of kismet that they're both happening at the same time. So that's really great. We also, let's see, I have been officially inducted into the Grange Rotary. It's very funny. This is not me, but this is the new president and the outgoing president. That's Larry and Mike. And so that's really exciting. I'm going to be helping them with some of their social media and web stuff because if you're under 50, that's what they're asking me to do these days. And it's me. One of the other great things that I got to participate in this month. So each year for the new teachers, Lyons Township takes all of the, and it's not just teachers, it's social workers, new staff. They take them on a bus tour of the villages that they serve. So they go through Western Springs, Grange Park. We were their final stop. So all 20 new teachers came and then they had different people from Rotary, the Lions Club, from some of the churches to come and kind of talk to. They call us kind of the community elders. And for us to connect with the new teachers, but also making sure they had an understanding of the support systems that are available to them, but also what they could promote for us to their families and students and families. So that was really, we were happy to have them come in.
Really quick, I thought that was so cool to see. Is that new this year? Is this the first time you guys have done that?
This is the first time they've come to us, and I think that that's a result. Dr. Rowe, the Director of Equity, Inclusion, and Belonging, she and I spend a lot of time together now. So she got us instead of, I think they've been at the Park District in the past. So it could also be that some of the Park District spots were under construction. But we're going to take it and we're going to love it and hope they come back next year too. They also get 2 students come. And like, your representative students from the community, what do you want new teachers to know when they come in? And these children are like so eloquent. I mean, they're teenagers, but they're children to me. So.
I know that bus tour is really helpful. My ex-husband, who teaches at LT and grew up in the community, but he found it so illuminating just to literally be going through the communities that his students have come from. Like, you see, the whole spectrum.
Totally.
It's 11 different communities that LT serves, so it's great. So I'm so happy to see that you guys are here. Hopefully you can be next year too.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't think the Park District wants to be under construction for that long. However, they're more than welcome to come here at any time. Obviously, we saw the end of summer reading, and what else can I tell you? Kim kind of told you about our new employee searches. We had our full day staff in service day on August 8th, so we had our naloxone antagonist training. We also did a full library tour, building and closing, and Peter put together a safety device scavenger hunt. And nobody won because there are secret whatchamacallits in the basement.
They're not secret, they just,
Everybody,
fire extinguishers.
you just have to know they're there to count them on your list. But people loved it. And then
What's a book tasting?
That's what I'm going to tell you.
Okay, I'm like, I want to go.
So it's a reader's advisory training tool that's been a huge focus. There were multiple staff members that had that as a SMART goal this year across departments. So one of our associates from Access Services, Susan Crow, she works at the front desk, and our teen librarian put together this book tasting activity. And they asked staff for books that they would recommend. You could submit 1, you could submit 5. And then what we did is they pulled all the books together, and then we all had 30 seconds to look at it, taste it, and pass it on to the next person, and then we rated it on a sheet. So you really got to find out what people were reading, and that there was, so like Jane, for example, she's our assistant manager in Access Services. She's got the red curly hair. She reads a lot of the stuff that I read, which is very nice. But my favorite was, and Joanne and Peter can attest to this, Simon reads very widely. He reads some things that I would never choose. But essentially, so you're sampling 30 to 40 books and just kind of seeing what the people around you recommend. Yeah. So, but yeah, it was really exciting. And this is just, it's so heartwarming to me to see people who are our support staff and not people who are the librarians, right? You expect them to do this, but for our support staff to have the opportunity to be able to share their thoughts as well was really exciting. So it was great. We got a lot of positive feedback from this one. So yeah, it was a good day. And let's see, what else can I tell you? That's pretty much it. We've been making some more progress with our person in charge committee. So the person in charge committee is the one that's made up of all the staff that is grade 5 and above, who are in charge of the library at different times, because obviously I get to have a life. I'm not here 24/7. So we have started, there was a request for better training and for more consistent training. So we have decided to start meeting quarterly. We have some small projects going on looking at how we're reporting incidents and how we are debriefing following incidents so that we have more consistent responses, but also, again, it just helps the customer service and helps people feel more confident in those kind of high stress situations. And there's always high stress situations that happen. So, yeah. Was there anything else?
Do you ever report here on like the incident reporting and like incidents occurrence and?
We haven't. Excuse me. I don't know that libraries generally do. I know that if there is something I think that were to happen that I would think that needed to be escalated. Okay. A lot of the incident reports are about, you know, the person who we see having a beer in the library. We have to make them leave. You know, our incident that we reviewed this month was there was a patron who was stuck in the elevator and the elevator was not working. So like some of it, I don't want to say it's insignificant, but
yeah. Okay. I was just curious.
More like it's operational what do you say?
Yeah.
Kind of situation.
So sorry.
No, he wasn't freaked out or anything. He was cool. He was like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
So
What happened? I mean, we spent so much on that elevator.
well, that elevator is grossly. Yeah, it's an elevator. It goes up and down. The door, there's a seal that wasn't closing all the way. That's why it got stuck. It wasn't opening or closing
Yeah,
properly,
there's a
right?
sensor on the door that was causing trouble, and so, but the person in the elevator was unaware that they, I think, were stuck. They
just thought it was
They just had low expectations.
had they pushed like the door open button, it would have opened and let them out, but they were just chilling there.
The people on the outside were pushing the down button and it wasn't opening from the outside. But they still could have opened it from the inside, but they were just not concerned about it.
You know what? I need some quiet time too sometimes.
I know.
I'm not saying I'm opposed to that idea.
What's interesting,
Now you know the trick.
I knew I could get out.
what's interesting is that like our elevator does get inspected frequently. We have stuff is that the one that we have stuff we have to do every 5 years on top of every year as well? Like
We
there's
have quarterly inspections from our elevator company. We have annual state inspections that we pay for, and they come out and do it. And then, as part of that, there are tests that they do every certain number of years. But all of that is well and good. And then when somebody pees on the control panel, you just have
that's
to
fun.
pay to fix it all again. 'Cause
Oh my god.
it stops working when you do that.
Good to know. Thank
there
you,
a
Peter.
So
That's fun to clean up.
You did that
I
cleanup.
did do that.
Oh my goodness.
Not the first time, but not the last time.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Got it. Okay.
So if there's a really good one, I'll tell you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's.
I will say, in going through and doing that reflection, it was really insightful to have people we all have the same exact responsibilities as the person in charge, right? So to hear the different perspectives of what people would do and be like, see, I wouldn't do it because I think of it this way. Or would I do it? I would think of it this way. So, and then at the end you kind of come to that agreement of, okay, this is the way we should have handled it. And I immediately called the fire department. Because to me, that's what you should do. There's somebody stuck, you call the fire department. Well, I called 911, but the fire department.
Yeah.
And Peter's like, no, I got it. I was like, oh, okay, we don't need you anymore, bye. Like, so maybe I should have waited,
Yeah.
but again, like, that's my
Right,
instinct, is
right.
call for help. So,
Not a terrible instinct.
Right.
we all learn. We all learn from that situation, but it never would occur to me not to call.
Right.
But now it shall. Hopefully.
It's just Jess.
She's doing her weekly quiet time. Just let it go. I'm almost done.
So you're promising to share really good incidents with us
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
future.
I gotta tell you, I hope one does not happen,
Yeah.
but if it does,
Right.
you'll be the first to know.
Excellent. Anything else?
That's it for me. Unless there's any questions anybody else wanted to know.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any trustee comments? All right. Okay. Thanks, everyone. We will
Efficient meeting.
adjourn at 8:29.